7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes. T-minus for minutes. T-minus 3 minutes. Stand by.
How about that?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a great week. What a fantastic week. And we're putting our wrapper on it here on a Football Friday. Kevin the Media coming up in hour one. No Man in the Morning, Brian Snow in hour two. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm just sitting here looking at all the highlights of the week. We had some good moments. We had some really good moments. I appreciate those that have been with us through it all. And for those that haven't, well, that's your problem. Streaming on Game Plus, YouTube, the RP Show channel, WQVZ Radio, your home for sports and sports talk in West Central Georgia and Eastern Alabama, where Kevin the Medium's really big down there. What's up, Kevin the Medium? Have you stopped smiling since last night?
No, I'm still smiling. What a great game. It wasn't a great game, but we came out and we won. That's what's important.
Okay, back it all up, everybody. Hey, he's jumping right out of it. I knew it. I knew he would. Point one of the Quick Six Show topics has to do with the BC Lions and the massive upset, 35-19 at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I told everybody yesterday that I was going to be broadcasting baseball last night, which I was. I did have the game on in the booth with me, but no sound, of course, Kev. 35-19, Caden Salter, QB3 for the Lions, sets a Lions single-game rushing record, 160 yards rushing. But it was close late. And then the Lions just like busted it open in the last few minutes. So that's the upset. That's the upset of the year, right, everybody? BC beating Winnipeg last night, 35-19.
Was it an upset, though? I mean, yeah.
Yes, Kevin.
I picked them. You know I picked them.
You would pick them if they were playing God and Jesus. You would still pick BC?
True story. True story.
Winnipeg was favored by 7.5, so don't be that guy. That was an upset, Kevin. Give me a break. Caden Salter? Come on.
You know what? It was funny to watch that game because the first half you're like, okay, this guy was supposed to have an arm. And he threw, I think, for 39 yards or 29 yards in the first half. It wasn't good. But I don't know what they did in the second half, but they gave up on the tossing game and they ran for a total of 377 yards. It's like the third highest team running in the CFL in 100 plus years of the CFL. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. This running back that we picked up, Horvath, wow, what a beast.
Yeah. He had the hat trick of touchdowns last night. So, yeah, everybody's writing in here. Rob from Las Vegas, he's a Bomber fan, says Caden Salter looked like Damon Allen 2.0 last night. Blue Bombers looked old and tired. Ken in Mississauga says, wonder what John Murphy's thoughts are on the BC upset win. Virginia Eric's here. Jason and Red Deer. Everybody's here. I told you, it's been a great week. Everybody's fired up. They love Football Fridays, and that's what we're doing here. But listen, you BC fans, you all got to pipe down a little bit. You, Darshan took a screenshot of all the TSN panelists before the game. They all picked Winnipeg, and he's like, nana, nana, boo-boo. Can you all, I'm going to quote my guy, Chris Jones, win with class. Y'all want to rub it in everybody's face. Can you just go home happy, not have to prance around and throw a parade?
Did you see, I know you were calling the game, but at the end of the game, Salter he had a great run. It was a great fake, great run, and he's literally dancing back to the huddle. And I thought, that's the strut, that's the swagger that BC needs and that we've been missing this whole season. I loved it. I almost popped out of my seat when I saw that.
Brian writes in from Winnipeg. He says, Rod, your name for Bomber Stadium fits right in these days. Princess Stadium. That's what I'm calling it. I'll take credit for it. I will take credit. I'll do a celebratory dance for that. Look at me, Mr. Old Man. Got my glasses stuck in my jacket here. Princess Stadium. The Bombers are 1-4. Like, I know you don't care about the Smurf Mafia, nor necessarily should you, Kev, but like today, this is water cooler talk on this Friday for CFL fans and football fans for what happened last night at Princess Stadium. Now, Virginia Eric says, pound the rock. love running the ball. You understand, Kev, you're football first. The Caden Salter 160 yards, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. But you won a game, right? This is till Nathan Rourke gets healthy.
And it sounds like we're going to be healthy next week going into Hamilton. All rumors point that Nathan's going to be back this week. So if that's the case and we can get Butler back, whew, what a 1-2 duo in the backfield we'll have with Horvath and Butler, and have a healthy, quotation marks, hopefully, Nathan
I'm going to tell you
Rourke.
something. As you know, buddy, everything comes around. And that win last night for BC was really good for the CFL. And the Bomber fans won't like that. But the fact of the matter is it was, because it muddied up the Western picture. BC's now 2-5, Bombers 4-4. It reminds me of standing at the elevator at McMahon Stadium after 2009 Grey Cup and our 13th man when we crapped ourselves, the Riders, in the Grey Cup. And Bob Knuckles Irving, we're leaning on the elevator. I'm ready to pass out. And Knuckles is like, terrible for the Riders, great for the CFL. And I'm like, what, Knuckles? In retrospect, he's probably right. It's just part of all these great CFL lore stories we've been talking about all week. This game last night is kind of CFL lore. It wasn't just for a rookie Lions quarterback who set a record last night. No Lions quarterback has rushed for more yards in a game than Caden Salter did last night. So,
And you look at some of the quarterbacks BC has had. I mean, you've got Dickinson, you've got Lule, you've got Flutie.
Right.
I mean, there's some big
Damon Allen.
You've got some big-ass names that talk about CFL lore. And to have this nobody come out of nowhere and rush for 160 yards, Winnipeg had no answer. All you had to do was look at the first play in the second half, and it was like, whew, they have nothing. It's like, holy.
Cole is watching on Vancouver Island. He says, don't count the Bombers out yet. I've seen some Bomber fans wanting to do a fire sale already. Oh, it's not just the fans. I think the media are all over them. I don't know if the good times are over for the Bombers. I really don't know. That's their problem, not ours. I did see the quotes from Mike O'Shea after the game talking about all the errors on defense. He said when there are running plays for that big of yardage, there's a lot of blame to go around. To paraphrase what Mike O'Shea said after the game last night. Will they figure it out? I don't think it's a scheme thing. We all knew that the bottom was going to fall out for Winnipeg at some point. Who picked them last in the West? Oh, yeah, this guy. Well, they're a long ways from last. There's still a lot of football left to be played. But, yeah. Oh, Cole, I'm sorry. It's a different Cole. He says, I'm from North Dakota, not Vancouver Island. What's the difference? Rob in Las Vegas says it was a mystery to the Bomber defense. We'll be right back.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a Football Friday. Kevin the Medium is with me from Kevin the Medium. He talks to dead people. By the way, hey, they got to get Caden Salter on this cruise. That's what they got to do. Join CFL stars Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, Jake Seresna, and Kevin the Medium on the 7-day CFLPA fan cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, February 20th. This is hot, straight while the iron's hot. Get Caden Salter on that thing. Cruise prices starting at $18.99. Cruise only. Contact Neil at Uniglobe Travel. Kev, I got to just say that we're going to listen. Everybody's all excited. I get it. But our poll question, I'm just going to say this, is NFL related. I just want to get this out of the way right now. CBS NFL analyst and former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo had an open container of alcohol in his vehicle when he was stopped by police last week in Indianapolis and later arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. According to police, the open bottle of an alcoholic beverage, that's their statement, was discovered in the passenger side of Romo's black Jeep during an inventory before it was towed. Poll question, should Romo keep his job? What are you voting?
Yes. I mean, should he be punished according to the law? Yeah, but should that affect his job? Does he need his license to do his job? Probably not. So I don't think it should affect his job. It's made a mistake. We all have been there, done that. I mean, no, I've never had a DUI, but I've made plenty of mistakes. I've been given second chances. Notice that was plural, second chances, more than one. So I'm not going to say fire him. That's just, no.
Where's Jason from Red Deer to give us the update on the poll? 100% of Instagram voters are saying that he should be fired. I'm like, oh my God, I hope you guys never make a mistake. I can't, at my ready, I can't see what the YouTube vote is. Rich in Edmonton says the Mad Greek ads get me fiercely hungry. I know. I am so grateful that the Mad Greek is right down the street from me. Jason in Red Deer says if players get to keep their jobs for all the stupid stuff they do, why can't on-air personalities? Well, we're all going to find out. We live in a different time, and it's different for public people. I'll tell you this. I came up in an era. Here's another reason why I'm so happy being as old as I am. We used to get away with stuff because of who we are. In my time, it flipped, and I can tell you almost the exact period when it did, to they make examples of us. So thank God I'm not out there doing stupid stuff anymore. I don't have nothing to worry about. My God, I did. Okay, 69% say no, he shouldn't be fired. Is that what it is, Jason? I can't remember how we worded that. Rob in Vegas says the Bomber run is over. So I think we've spent enough time on that game, unless, Kev, there's anything else before we move on to other things.
No, I hope the Bombers' run isn't over. I know I give Smurf Mafia a hard time, but having a competitive division isn't a bad thing. So I'm hoping the Bombers pull it together, and they looked horrible last night, obviously, but the Lions didn't look that great in the first half either. So, I mean, are the Bombers over? Probably not. I mean, they've got some good players. They just need to put it together.
What I know nobody cares about this, but it's interesting just sitting back. I also love my perspective on this whole entire league in that one of our viewers in here said the best stadium to watch a game on television is Winnipeg, Princess Stadium. Just the parties are going on, everybody's dressed. It's great, you know. I'm interested to see what happens in Edmonton. I will move on. There's a lot of people talking about the Calgary-Hamilton game here, too. People saying, Argo fans, which a lot watch this show, they're like, please beat Hamilton. It's just, the thing is, if you take care of your business, it's life as well as sports, you don't got to worry about what everybody else does. Don't worry about getting help from the other teams, right? Toronto's off this week, but that doesn't preclude you from cheering against for your rival's opponent. I totally get that. But it's kind of interesting, Kev. Last night wasn't the game of the year. It was the upset of the year. The game of the year was still Edmonton beating Sask last week in Week 8, last second field goal. Now everybody is talking about this Saturday at Edmonton. They're opening up the upper deck. Thank you, Rider fans. I'll say it again. I can't wait for 5 p.m. Mountain, because that is the game of the week. Have we got you convinced, Kev, that's the game of the week?
I knew that was the game of the week before it even started. It's going to be interesting. As I was telling you, I'm going to be out in Val Marie for the 100th celebration. It'll be interesting where we're going to be watching this game. Like, are they going to put it on the big screen somewhere?
You tell me. We have a barbecue here planned, and I'm just very much looking forward to the football game. So we're kind of going off back and forth. John in Winnipeg, he says, don't write off the Bombers, but it didn't look like a one-up. On the Tony Romo thing, Rob from Las Vegas says, I will never understand why multi-million-dollar celebrities don't hire a professional driver. The funny thing about, and Utah Darren writes in, he says, in my job, a DUI is a mandatory dismissal, but I know that up front. So it can depend on your employment. Yeah, I don't want this all to be about Tony Romo, obviously, but the thing with Romo, I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. I watched every game he played. To me, he will never measure up to my Troy. So I don't really like Tony Romo, but he is a multimillionaire driving a black Jeep. Kevin drove a black Jeep. Do you still drive that thing, Kev? Do you still drive that thing?
No, I got rid of that.
I like the guys that are real. I don't think we can argue that Tony Romo is real. And as a guy in recovery, plan ahead. Some of us don't. We're at the golf tournament, getting bamboozled, having a great and the common sense ain't that common. So anyways, should Tony Romo, 70% say no, he should not lose his job. We'll see what happens. I mean, just last year, who was the quarterback? Mark Sanchez. Remember? He got liquored up on the road. Also, I think working for CBS. Doesn't matter. Maybe Fox. Of course, he got in a fight and stabbed a guy. Might want to not do that. Darren in Melfort writes in, he says, can't wait for the Lions to get healthy just to start losing again. Why not roll with the players who are winning until it breaks? And he predicts Riders 34, Edmonton 21. I guess, Kev, there used to be that adage that you don't lose your job due to injury. And I guess that's still the adage, because when Nathan Rourke's healthy, he's starting. Period.
Yeah. And let's not get carried away. Yes, it was a big upset win, but it wasn't Salter didn't come out and look Flutie-ish or Dickinson-ish. He couldn't throw a ball for the life of him. His accuracy was horrible. The only thing that won that game was we decided to go away from the passing game and went ground and pound, and we ran it down their throats. That's the only thing that won the game. In the CFL, that isn't going to get you very far. This is a tossing game. You have to pass the ball. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. This was a good game. And people keep saying, oh, let's get BC healthy again so we can lose. They seem to forget. The first game, we lost 4 receivers. We haven't been healthy all season. So to say that is just somebody who doesn't watch the games, doesn't pay attention to the games. Pay attention, then comment.
Well, it's funny, by the way, on the injury thing, literally nobody cares. I was talking to a pro football coach in the States. I said, do you allow injuries as an excuse? He's like, no.
And it should never be.
Because you just can't. So when BC was, remember, all through the start of the season, all you ever heard was, oh, the Lions are hurt, the Lions are hurt. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And
you're losing.
To be honest, when the Lions had a quarterback in, who was the last guy? Chase Bryce, and he couldn't get a first down. We were all kind of going, what's going on in the BC personnel department? And all of a sudden, Caden Salter comes out, and the guy said he looks like the next Damon Allen. So he saved everybody's ass. But Kevin's not wrong. And what did I say? It's not sustainable, but they did enough to win a game. They did enough to win a game. And if Winnipeg's sitting there kicking themselves today, they probably should, Kev.
Yes.
Like, did they give it away?
We played Winnipeg's third-string quarterback. Our third string against their third string. Drew Brown went out. They didn't have their best game, and we took advantage of it. So it wasn't, I wouldn't put this up there in the top 100 games in the CFL. It wasn't a good game. We had, I think, total 79 or 80 yards passing. Come on. It wasn't a fun, exciting game. Was it as a BC Lions fan? Of course it was. We beat the team that we have trouble beating. Anytime you can do that, that's fun.
Of course. The poll question is, should Tony Romo lose his job? What with his DUI? Scott in Vancouver writes in, he says, I don't know why they don't sell breathalyzer machines like the cops have to the general public. They do. But you got to be a pretty... Yeah, you got to be a pretty hardcore booze hound to have one of those. It's like, maybe, hey, whoever said it's not wrong, Rob from Vegas, maybe take an Uber. I don't know. Instead of going out and buying a breathalyzer machine to see whether you're too, I
think he can afford an Uber. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. I just love the fact that he's driving a black Jeep. I mean, obviously, I'm a Jeep person. Kevin's a Jeep person. 2 kinds of people in this world. Jeep people and not Jeep people. Jeff the Stamps fan says Rennie Paredes has lost his job due to injuries. Well, we do need to all understand something. Those old adages work. It's used to always be that way. You don't lose your job due to injuries. But now it's a case-by-case situation. Rennie Paredes is not... What is he, 76 years old? Rennie Paredes? Like, how long has he been around? Like, at some point, they got to move on. Maybe they've moved on and just haven't told him yet.
Well, and he was talking about retiring already. So he didn't lose his job because of the injury. He retired early because of his injury. Let's call it what it is.
I love how much they love the CFL talk, especially the U.S. viewers. Utah Darren says Caden Salter's biggest problem now is the opposition has tape on him, and that can hamper a repeat performance. Sure, but again, just like the injury situation is a case-by-case situation, the games are a case-by-case. The kid can throw the ball.
Yes.
We saw that, okay? Let's just give the kid a little credit for winning a game in his first pro start. And somebody wrote in here earlier and said that he was chirping the Bombers bench, which I didn't. At that instant that you were talking, was he chirping the Bombers bench?
I don't know if he was chirping. He was looking towards the Bombers bench and doing like a really kind of a cool dance back to the huddle after the game was salted away. I liked it. I like that cockiness. I like trash talk, obviously. If you can back up the cockiness, it's not cockiness, it's confidence.
Well, 2007 Grey Cup. Ryan Dinwiddie launched a bomb to Clarence Denmark, touchdown. He turned and gunned our bench, and I was like, you might not want to do that. I love Dinwiddie because, again, you, Kev, didn't know me prior to 2022. That was nobody cockier than me. I love it too. But you do get kicked in the balls. Eventually, you will get kicked in the balls. Ryan Dinwiddie's came before the end of that game. Yeah, right, several times. So, yeah, like it's maybe don't gun the bench. Maybe don't call out an opposing team's fan base. Eric in Virginia writes in and says, hashtag not a Jeep person. Well, I don't hold it against them. You have the right to be wrong as well.
You have to have driven a Jeep to understand being a Jeep person. It's just, and when I say that, you have to have a standard where you can actually shift it and just feel it. And the Jeep is something. It's
and the top off. I remember watching the Super Bowl with that one ad for Jeep with Harrison Ford. Have you seen the ad with Harrison Ford, Han Solo for Jeeps? And he's out in the mountains somewhere. Yeah, we'll be back. Hang on. We'll be back, everybody. It is the RP Show on a Football Friday. Don't go anywhere.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca. Or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Wreck Loss teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
Two of Canada's biggest country acts. One stage, one unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at saskpix.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, we did our picks yesterday with Kevin the Medium and Tuesday with Scruffy, brought to you by Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon. If you're looking for a place to watch the game, as Kev said, think about Pump Jacks. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. I'll get to all the other stuff once Kevin the Medium adjourns. He's a big CFL guy. His team won last night. And by the way, Wayne is watching out in Victoria, BC, and he says, hey, Rod and Kev, on the Western Dodge text line, you can always reach us at 902-518-3033. Says, hey, Rod and Kev, I think if the Red Blacks beat the Alouettes tonight, that'll be the upset of the year. Sure, Wayne, but it hasn't happened yet. So can we just talk about what happened last night? I mean, there wasn't anybody that thought the BC Lions would beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last night with a third-string quarterback. I mean, but you know what? Good segue to tonight's game. We have another baseball game tonight. I am not as interested. We had a hell of a finish last night. I just love this baseball team, the Moose Jaw Miller Express. That's where my focus is. And Montreal, Ottawa didn't get me that excited. I mean, there's 6 hours of football on Saturday. I'll be watching a lot of that. But what's your interest level tonight, Alouettes, Red Blacks?
You know what? If it's on somewhere where we're going to be, I'll watch it. It's not going to be the game of the week, that's for sure. I think this one's going to be a motorboating. I think the Alexander's just going to light it up, and it's going to be like a 20-point spread.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I mean, I think they got some special stuff going on there tonight in Ottawa. Henry Burris has been brought back. I'm seeing all of Henry's social media. We're all wishing him well. He's running a quarterback academy. He's on NFL radio. Henry's just fun to follow. He's such a great guy. Utah Darren, my God, it's rubbing off. Utah Darren says, live in the now, Wayne. They're listening, Kevin. They're listening. Oh, my God. Saturday, I mean, the Calgary-Hamilton game, it's funny. I was going to bring out my mini helmets. Remember those ones that I bought at the garage sale earlier this summer? And by the way, What an unbelievable summer it's been. But in typical Saskatchewan fashion, the whole set's missing the rider helmet and the Ottawa-Montreal helmets. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I got all the other, you know what I mean? I was going to do like a Lee Corso college football game day, like pop up the helmet that I thought was going to win. But we did your picks yesterday. Everybody's got Calgary to beat Hamilton, which I'll say it again. Why that was so great for the CFL last night is I don't get, like in America, everybody knows who's going to win the college football games, and they all got a pretty good idea who's going to win the NFL games. There's no unpredictability at all, yet nobody cares. And I don't like that. The CFL, it's just zany. It always has been.
You never know. That's why they're saying any given Sunday, let's play the game. If you knew, why play the game? It would be boring.
Jeff the Stamps fan says Jeeps are fun when you're 25. Jeff, I think you need to go outside, rinse yourself off, and come back in with an attitude adjustment. He's just crapped on everything this morning. He says, injuries are an excuse if you're the Riders, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, my God, Jeff.
I think he had a bad sleep because sometimes he can be really nice in the chat.
Go outside, go for a walk. He's just crapping on everything, man. Don't bring us down. So I said it's been an unbelievable week. Just crapping on everything, man. I'd hate to live that way. John says Dairy Queen mini helmets, Rod? No, they're not the Dairy Queen mini helmets. They're actual Riddell mini helmets, like good ones. I can't wait. I already got it figured out at my place in Florida where I'm going to put it up on the wall. I got some real nice stuff to go up when I get home.
Yeah.
Like the CKRM Icon Award, which, by the way, have I had you on since that big thing 2 Saturdays ago? I want to thank you and Angela for coming to the CKRM Icon Award. That was pretty big deal, eh? That was like Grand Ole Opry stuff.
It was kind of cool. I mean, I didn't know any of the icons besides yourself being honored. But man, to hear the stories, it was really, really cool. I enjoyed it. Angela wasn't sure she was going to have any fun. She was just enthralled the whole time because these are voices from her youth. So yeah, no, we enjoyed it, and it was good seeing you up there. It was fun.
One of the guys had passed away, James Allen. And anybody listening to this show that from Saskatchewan would know the name James Allen. He did the morning news on our radio station, plus the supper news at 6 on CTV. Because he's passed away, they played a tape of his 7 a.m. newscast. This is James Allen. The walls started rattling in the Connexus Arts Center when they played the clip from James. The walls started rattling. That's how big this guy's voice was. And he was just a wee little man.
What a
the
voice.
size of my pinky. Well, there was a guy,
that iconic voice.
There's a guy in Vancouver that read the news on CKNW. Maybe you know, he's a little guy too, and he was the public address announcer for the Canucks and the Vancouver Giants. Remember that his name? He had a beard. Ho, ho,
Yes.
ho. Do you remember his name?
I don't, but I can picture his face.
You know the guy. Probably the biggest voice I've ever heard. CKNW. Like, where'd those guys go? They're not even on the air anymore. Where'd they go?
Well, they got old.
With big voices? Yeah, what the heck? No. There's got to be another generation of people with big voices. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah,
where are they?
You don't see that anymore.
No, you don't see it anymore. Okay,
see,
Kev,
when I think of CKNW, I think of Rafe Mayer.
Right, he was the big talk show host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me going, man. Had a long talk the other day with Kevin Gallant, longtime Vancouver sports guy, and I said, what about Dan Russell? What was Dan Russell like? He's like, Dan was a great guy. All those guys, well, I don't think he's dead. They all talk about us. Rod was a great guy. Rod's still here. Dan Russell's still here. You know, we're still alive. Anyways, the last word, Kev, what do you got? What's popping? What's shaking?
Well, we got a busy weekend coming up. As I said, we're heading out to Val Marie for the 100th celebration. Tonight, I get to meet Mr. Brian Trottier. He's doing a book signing out there, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching some football, probably sitting at the bar in Val Marie. If you're out in Val Marie, come by, say hi. It should be a good weekend. It's going to be hot.
Say hey to Brian Trottier for me. We've done some events together. An Islander's great. So Vancouver, Eric writes in and says, John Ashbridge.
Yes.
That's the guy. I remember doing a Pats at Giants game in Pacific Coliseum. And if you know that rink at all, Kev, you've been in there a million times. The press box is right in the middle of the stands. I have a million stories about that. Shouldn't even be allowed. But anyways, the public address announcer, John Ashbridge, was 2 rows down and over. And it was the first time we'd ever played the Vancouver Giants. I don't know what year it would have been, like 02 or something. God, we're old. But the second he started talking, the Vancouver Giants. Oh, oh, oh. I went.
Green Giant.
For whatever reason. Yeah, that's what it was. Giants. Oh, oh, oh. He just said it. I'm like, I saluted the man. I stood up and I'm like, who? He's God.
That's awesome.
Okay, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I'm fiery today. Well, that's one term for it. Okay, so you're going to Val Marie. We have what do we got left here, producer Corey? We have like a minute or two to go. You're going to be able to watch all of the CFL games on Saturday?
Sorry, you broke up there. Am I watching all of them?
Yeah.
I doubt it being out. We're going to be out and about. I'm definitely going to watch the Saskatchewan game for sure. I'll watch the highlights of the other one, I'm sure. Lots to do out there with this 100th celebration. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good.
Well, it's interesting. I think if people are paying attention now, and we can talk about this coming back on the other side of the break. Why is the attendance going off the charts for the Edmonton Elkimos for this game? Because Cam Moon, the voice of the Oilers, told me a couple weeks ago, and the voice of the Elks, Morty Scott, did too. It's going to take a while to get back to those big-time Edmonton crowds. Well, now it looks like they're going to be well over 35,000. And what I'm seeing is the influencers, the Chris Strevlers, I think Luke Wilson is on it. A lot of these guys are really pushing it hard on social media, and that's where it is. Don't tell me you saw an ad in the Edmonton Sun, and that's making you buy tickets, because I'm pretty sure that ain't the way it is anymore. so they can help these young people. And we're going to be cut off here right away, but be prepared. Go ahead.
We have said many times, you want to fix all your problems? Start winning. It fixes everything. And that's what the Elks have done.
Yeah, I feel if there wasn't this push behind it, this size of crowd wouldn't be a thing. There's more to it than just winning.
Yeah.
Calgary Stampeders, cover your ears, Jeff. The team of the decade, the team of the generation. Nobody.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back. It's a Football Friday. We'll take requests here. Kevin the Medium's gone. He's off to Val Marie to see Brian Trottier. Jeff the Stamps fan writes in. He says, you got cut off. You were about to insult the Stamps, I think. Why? Because it's a day that ends in Y. Vancouver Eric says, RP, when you get a chance, can you tell the Pacific Coliseum story? Well, which one? I mean, again, the press box is right in the crowd there, and in some of those old arenas, Portland was the same. Anyway, one thing was, I always stood up to call a game. Like, when I come out of the booth after a game, I'm like those old school broadcasters, Harry Carey, Rod Phillips, those. It's like I played in the game. Ties undone, sweating. I'm up. I'm into it. And, and I'm standing up calling the game. Some guy comes up, taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, hey, buddy, of all the guys that have come in here, I can't see you. Me and my kid are sitting right here. Can't see past you. And I said, bro, there's 8,000 empty seats in here. Why don't you move? I can't. That didn't go over well. But the bigger story was this. I guess I can say it now. I used to room with our general manager. So, and I was doing the Riders at the same time. So I flew in the middle of the road trip, middle of the day of the game, check into the room. He's on the phone. And I'm going to have a little nap in wherever our hotel was in East Van. And he covers the phone. He's talking on the hotel phone back. Remember, we used to do that. And he goes, you're going to hear something that you're not going to hear. I'm like, no problem. Happens all the time. Roll over. Try to get asleep. And he goes, so there's going to be plainclothes cops there? Are we in danger? And I'm like, what? Okay, there's a threat. Okay, where are the police going to be? Where am I to be? Hangs up the phone. And I'm like, I guess you kind of know me now because you're watching this show, the type of person that I am. He was white as a ghost. And he goes, yeah, one of the referees' full-time job is with the Vancouver Police Undercover Division. And there's been a threat come in against our staff from the Hells Angels because one of the players that we cut, his dad's supposedly a Hells Angel. And he said that there's a threat on some of our people because we cut this Hells Angels kid. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to play the game. And he's like, we're going to play the game like all is fine. And the general manager used to sit close to me or beside me in the press box. So I'm like, okay, so is there going to be like a red dot on you or something? Do I need to be worried? And he goes, no, you don't worry about me. I'm going to be in the owner's suite with Ron Toigo and the cops. I'm like, what about me? And he goes, you'll be fine. There's no threat against you. I'm like, okay. And then he was like, there's going to be every police car within a 5-mile radius of Pacific Coliseum is going to be on red alert in the event that they see the Hells Angels and blah, 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 blah. I wasn't having a nap at this point. Anyways, in these hotel rooms, and I haven't stayed in one in a while. I don't travel much anymore because I don't want to. But anyways, our GM gets up and he starts turning on the lights in the hotel room, and none of the lights were going on. They weren't turning on. We turned the lights on. I shot up in bed. I'm like, it started already. And he's like, shh. I was just joking, right? None of the lights work in the hotel. But he's like, stop, this isn't funny. And we play the game, and nothing happened. And as it finds out after, it was just a threat by a guy who wasn't even connected to the Hells Angels. And we find out that apparently that's what people do. I'm with the Hells Angels, and you're going to pay. That was my Pacific Coliseum. They had sweepers coming around the bus with, the mirror that they put on a stick underneath the bus to see if there was a bomb under our bus. Like, it was not fun. That's my Pacific Coliseum story. John says, wowzers, what a story. Hells Angels, right? John says, do you still wear a tie, Rod, to broadcast baseball? No, I don't. It's the most greatest thing ever. I wear beach shorts and a T-shirt and a hat, like last night. Baseball is the perfect sport for me at this time of my life. It's so chill and it just gives me something to do. And I love the kids. Okay, where were we? We're 48 minutes into hour one and still on point one. So, of the Quick Six Show topics brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group, the preferred travel partner of the RP Show on the BC Lions. I'm just going to skip over the NFL because when we go to air in Nevada next hour and Brian Snow joins us, Snowman in the morning, it'll be all NFL, just so you know. Did the picks already for Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon. So point 2 is NFL. I just told you what we're doing there. Point 3, the Toronto Blue Jays are expected to be sellers ahead of Monday's Major League Baseball trade deadline. Toronto is last in the American League East, 5.5 games out of a wild card berth. The Jays could move several players over the weekend to reload for next season. Starting pitchers Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber, as well as outfielders Dalton Varsho and George Springer, could all be traded. Are you prepared for that, everybody? Are you ready to say goodbye? Because if Gausman leaves, He ain't coming back. Probably the same for George Springer. I wouldn't think. Like, we ain't the Blue Jays show, obviously, but is the window closed? Because if it is, I would sit here saying, that was quick. It was a very small window. Like the ones in the hotel rooms in Vegas, if they have opening windows at all. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Noni in Calgary writes in. She says, what a fun show today, Rod and Kevin. I'm happy for you that your team upset the Bombers, Kev. The Calgary dude needs to take a chill pill. He's a cranky Stampeders fan. Ha ha. Have a great rest of the show and long weekend. And go, Riders, go. You guys are so entertaining. I want to tell you, somewhere down the line, not imminently, but I will be writing another book. I just haven't really started it yet. Janice, she's encouraging me to get to work on my next book. But one of the things is when I started doing sports talk way back in 2010, there was no books. There was no books written. And at that time, all I'd done was 1 hour a week on CKRM Regina. I get that, but nobody's going to buy a book. I get that that's a big deal here. But youngsters across the continent aren't going to buy a talk book from a guy from Regina. They're just not. But now that we're on the air in West Central Georgia, Eastern Alabama, Nevada, television in Toronto for several years, but there was no book at all. And all I kept getting from the industry greats, like the Bob McCowans of the world and the Mike Richards of the world, they were all just be entertaining, be entertaining. The consultants, I'm like, what the hell? What does that even mean, be entertaining? I don't know. I actually meant to tell that story. John Frenzy. My God, there should be a statue of that man somewhere in Regina. John Frenzy. He goes, you just talk. You just talk. What do you mean you just talk? You just talk until somebody calls. It was very easy for him if you knew him, John. Not hard for him. Me, didn't even come that naturally. And now, 1,789 episodes later of this show, about 1,789 episodes of the last one, I kind of got a hand on it. So I'll write a book on hosting sports talk. I think these podcasters could actually use it. Noni says, by the way, she says, I am prepared to lose the expiring contracts for the Jays. That's the nature of the business, even though I hate to lose players I love to watch. Well, that's the whole point, and that's also why I could never be a general manager. I don't want to be a general manager. I do what I do. To be honest, Bill Zito in Florida with the Panthers, literally got rid of Sergei Bobrovsky. I couldn't do that. I love that guy. I'm not saying Bill Zito doesn't have a heart. What I'm saying is he hides it a lot better. How about that? He loves his players. There's no two ways about that, but business first, and I'm not necessarily that guy, although I've become a lot more of that guy. That happens. Don't get attached. But on the flip side, what's good is the closeness that you get with the players. I'm going to save the rest of these topics for the next hour, some that I haven't even got to yet. Because, for instance, Tad Cornegay is going to come on the show on Monday, and oh my God, the Grey Cup kid. You all know his story. Played Calgary with the Grey Cup. BC played for Calgary in the Grey Cup. Riders, I think the Argos. Whatever the story is, we'll get it from Tad. One of the funniest people I've ever met. Tad Cornegay. And if you go watch a Kevin Hart video, go watch a stand-up, go watch his Instagram, that's Tad Cornegay. And as Tad will tell you, I was around before Kevin Hart, so Kevin Hart's like me. And he believes it. And one time I was in Manhattan with one of my wives, shopping in Times Square, and I'd put on Twitter that I was in this bar. She was shopping, I was in the bar, kind of how it went. And put on Twitter, where 5 minutes later, tap on my shoulder, it's Tad. Just randomly shows up, sits down, and we just had the biggest time. And then one time, family trip, Disneyland, Anaheim. I'm riding on the carousel with kids, our kids. And who's standing in the line? Tad Cornegay with his kid, Deuce. He's like, I see you in the most random of places. Tad Cornegay, the guy that thinks Kevin Hart stole his act from him, which I can't discount that that's not the case. Utah Darren writes in, he says, Rod, have you considered writing a wit and wisdom of John Frenzy book? No, won't, no. I heard a story the other day about John Frenzy that, can't tell it here. I'll just relay what you need to know. He would say Nathan Rourke is GWH, great when healthy. He's a BTT boy, a BTT. What's a BTT, John? Big time talent. He's a big time talent. Jason in Red Deer says, one of your wives, Rod? I had no idea you had multiple wives.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
All the viewers are having fun today, and the listeners too. Welcome to the RP Show's Football Friday, everybody. We got our good buddies with us. And coming up later on here on Silver State Sports in this hour, my good friend Brian Snow, Snowman in the Morning, joining us from Indiana, Chicago radio fame, North Carolina radio fame, Snowman in the Morning, coming up later on in our segment, our guest segment brought to you by Prairie Panels. Why are we having fun? We're welcoming the Las Vegas viewers, the Nevada viewers on Silver State Sports. We're rolling into hour 2 on Game Plus streaming, our own YouTube channel podcast, and of course, as always, WQVZ Radio, which is run by Ryan O'Radio down there in West Central Georgia and Eastern Alabama. They love these Football Fridays, and I do have a little bit of college football snippets. I'm just hang on for that here on the warm-up, which is lovingly brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the preferred travel partner of the RP Show and the CFL's BC Lions when it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway. Trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel today. I'm not opening with the CFL. We spent the entire first hour on the Canadian Football League. I will just tell you that those BC Lions pulled off the biggest upset of the year. Colorado Buffalo's great. Caden Salter came in his first pro start and engineered a 35-19 upset victory at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And that's the water cooler talk across Canada today. Huge update to kick off Week 9 in the CFL. Tonight it's Montreal at Ottawa and a doubleheader on Saturday, Calgary at Hamilton, followed by the Saskatchewan Roughriders at my former team. The Riders on my former team at the Edmonton Elks. I apologize to all those that wrote in with their questions. I just didn't have time to get to them last hour because I was too busy telling stories. What came up? Oh, just the Hells Angels. And yeah, we'll see what else comes up. There were more. I just don't want to get into it here. So point one officially here on Silver State Sports is the National Football League. I'm going to say I don't hate this Vegas Raiders jacket that I got at Ultimate Fans. It fits in very well with the motif here. So just a quick little dabbling from NFL training camps here on day 3 with concern about the status of receiver Ricky Pearsall's injured right knee. The San Francisco 49ers are turning to a familiar face, bringing back wideout Deebo Samuel to the place where he began his career. Sources told NFL Network's Ian Rappaport on Thursday night that the 49ers and Samuel reached agreement on a 1-year deal that could be worth up to $7 million. When Brian Snow joins us next segment, we'll get his take on that because the 49ers are his team. In Tampa Bay, quarterback Baker Mayfield said Thursday that he felt disrespected a little bit. Quote, that he and the team could not reach an agreement on a new contract before his imposed deadline of the start of training camp, and that he and his agent were not presented with an offer that's appealing whatsoever. He said that all contract discussions would cease until after the 2026 season concludes. And I will tell you this, sports fans in Tampa Bay should be used to this. You can start saying goodbye to Baker Mayfield, who is a legend in that town. He's not Tom Brady status, but they love Baker. Or I guess the management doesn't necessarily, but this is the Tampa Bay sports fans, because I'm attuned to the scene living down there. They went through this with Steven Stamkos 2 years ago, the Lightning great, captain, franchise leader in games played, points, all the rest. Steven Stamkos, at the start of his last season with the Lightning, he said, I'm not happy where contract talks are, and it was literally start the clock. Because once he went to free agency at the end of the season, he got a contract offer that was a third of what he was currently making, and Stamkos moved on, and that's what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield. At least he's saying how he feels, and you got to respect that. That's actual football issues. There's a couple other ones here. 2 court appearances scheduled for the 27-year-old son of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy in connection with the shooting of his mother have been delayed pending a mental health evaluation. Elijah Bieniemy was arrested Monday in connection with the shooting. He's facing 3 charges. I kind of glanced over this yesterday, and I think a few people misunderstood what I was saying. The kid shot his mom, didn't kill her. She's in stable condition in hospital in Virginia. I'm just saying, people that have problems with their moms. When I was 15 years old, I told my mom to shut up. It was whack. I barely got it out of my mouth, which I deserved. I told it at her funeral, by the way. It wasn't like I made a habit of it. It was the first time I ever tried it. It was the last time, and a filling shot across the kitchen floor of our farm. She knocked a filling out of my mouth. I wasn't mad at her. I was mad at me. I was talking about stories of being upset with your mother and the fact that the kid shot his mother multiple times. He's being sent for a mental health evaluation, you think? And then the other one, CBS NFL analyst and former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo had an open container of alcohol in his vehicle when he was stopped by police last week and later arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence, authorities said. According to police, the open bottle of an alcoholic beverage was discovered at the passenger side of Romo's black Jeep during an inventory before it was towed. The poll question today for our friends at EMJ Marketing, Elite Speakers Bureau is, should Tony Romo keep his job? I'm going to ask you, viewer Jason, who is watching on streaming right now on YouTube, what's the latest on the vote? Because the last I checked, 70% of the viewers are saying, yes, Tony Romo should keep his job. But, I mean, we're not his boss. This is a different time. It's a different time in society, and I would guess that Tony Romo's pretty worried about that. Now, some of the other stuff, I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, you had us at Hell's Angels. What are you talking about? One of the viewers said, can you tell that story about what happened at Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver when you were calling a game? And I just said there was a death threat on some of our staff with our hockey team. We were the road team going into Vancouver by members of the Hells Angels. So the whole rink was crawling with undercover cops, and outside the rink, too, with marked cars. It was just a hell of a story. So there was that. And then I also said that I've been doing it doesn't feel like that long, but I've been doing sports talk for 16 years. The very first day was May 17th, 2010. And when I started it, way back when, there was not one book on it, none. And I'd been to broadcast school, the second best broadcasting school in Canada, Mount Royal University in Calgary. They say the best is in Ryerson, but I think we got the better grads in Toronto. But anyway, I said there was no book. There wasn't one in school. There's not one you can buy at that time, 16 years ago. So I'm running around asking some of the titans of the industry, how do you do quality sports talk? And they said, be entertaining, be entertaining, be entertaining. What the hell? What is that? So Eric's watching in Virginia. Appreciate you, Eric. He writes that he says, be real, turned up to 100. That's how wrestlers get over. Well, don't get me going down the Hulk Hogan stream, by the way. So I said, well, there's a few books that I'll be writing. Like I said, Janice, she's encouraged me to just start on the next way. What do they say? The journey of 1,000 steps begins with just one, with the first step. I got my memoirs to do. I got a book on, obviously, sports talk to do, because I see a lot of people on the air that should have read a book. They should have talked to the people I did. Anyways, Mike is watching in Winnipeg, Ice Time Sports. He says, I want a signed copy of the book, Rod. Can't wait to read the stories. Oh, there's going to be a lot of stories in there. Thank you, Jason, on cue. Okay, what is it that he should, 41%, what is, how was it worded? Can we average it and say 50-50? Did we say should he keep his job or should he be fired? I can't remember how we worded it. And I appreciate Jason for saying Tony Romo has been placed on leave by CBS Sports. I did not see that in the story that I read this morning from the Associated Press Wire. So is that a new development? We should not be surprised. And when we go back to being with the viewer, Virginia Eric saying, be real. Tony Romo's real. Like you guys are all saying, why doesn't he have a driver? Why isn't he not doing this? Because he drives a black Jeep. He's just a guy. He's a football player from Ohio. He wasn't thinking. He made a mistake. But it's not 1975 anymore. Probably should have had a driver. Looks good now, doesn't it? Vancouver Eric writes in and says, what the heck is Tampa planning if they don't want Baker? Right? Virginia Eric writes in, says they have a younger Baker Mayfield and Chandler Morris. I love, by the way, all the new All the new viewers that we have here. You're realizing it now, right? You're trapped in it. This is the crack cocaine of sports talk. We get you hooked. We just give you a little for free, and then we hook you, and you can't get out. But the thing is, you don't want to get out. You need help getting out. 902-518-3033 is the text line as we get bogged down on the National Football League and Tony Romo and all the rest of it. The guy made a mistake. It's not as easy anymore as it used to be to get out of those mistakes. I said last hour, I'm old enough to know, as a guy that used to get in a lot of trouble. We used to be able to get out of trouble. Not that difficult because of who we were, public people. And I will say around 20 years ago, that flipped, and all of a sudden, the public people are being made examples of. Martha Stewart, wonderful example. If you want to call me the Martha Stewart of sports talk, I'm okay with it. Point one is the National Football League, and we'll be getting into a lot of that with Brian Snow when he joins us next. It's brought to you by Prairie Panels. Are you building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space? Prairie Panels provides high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Visit prairiepanels.ca or call 306-985-0050. Point one, National Football League. Point two, college football. What I tell you the other day, as a Canadian, now 6 years in the U.S., I'm getting a handle on the magnitude of it. And you just got to bite off little bites. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So as I was reading this thing from the Associated Press, they came out with their rough top 25 as we're less than a month away from kickoff in week 0. Here are your top 5 teams in college football, and I'm going to tell you, Snowman is all over this. Number 1, Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 2, the Oregon Ducks. Number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs. Ooh. 4, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Number 5, the Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em. And just so you know, you all know Matt DeBuck, who's on this program, fairly on the reg. His son is the long snapper for the Texas Longhorns, and the head coach at Texas, as you all should know by now, is my good friend Steve Sarkisian. So you're going to be hearing a lot of the Longhorns. But this is preseason. Just remember, it's preseason. Texas was up there last year at this time. They didn't even make the top 12 college football playoff. I'm still kind of wondering how everybody saved their job there, other than we now know that Arch Manning was hurt, which I still wonder how much mainstream news that is. But we will get into that. Where's Indiana? Well, Fernando Mendoza's gone. So, thank you, by the way. Okay, Jason, thank you for the update. 60% say no, Romo should not lose his job. Thank you, Jason, for clarifying my question. From WHL 1986 writes, and he says, J.J. Watt is an excellent analyst who will thrive in an expanded role alongside Jim Nantz. That's if Tony Romo isn't brought back. That, by the way, is the other thing. Well, there is a scarcity of real quality sports broadcasters these days. There's not a scarcity of real quality color commentators. I mean, Tony Romo may have really stepped in this. I'll be honest, I've never been a really big fan of Tony Romo in the booth. If he was my color guy, I'd have thrown him out the window. But he is routinely voted one of the top color guys in the business. Why, you ask? Because he's always tripping over Jim Nantz. Jim's trying to set up the moment, and Tony's always yapping. I mean, it's cool that Tony can always predict the play pre-snap of what's coming, but I've long sat there and said, why couldn't you do that when you were the quarterback for the Cowboys? Why couldn't you win a playoff game? It's a me thing. It's not a Tony thing. I compare every Dallas quarterback to Troy Aikman, and that's not right. I don't feel like I need to apologize either. Point 1, NFL. Point 2, college football. Point 3, MLB. The Toronto Blue Jays expected to be sellers ahead of Monday's. That's this Monday's Major League Baseball trade deadline. I forgot what day it was. Toronto is last in the AL East. 5.5 games out of a wild card berth. We addressed this in the Canadian Hour last hour. Just get ready to say your goodbyes to Kevin Gausman, George Springer, Shane Bieber. It was nice knowing you. Point 4, some hockey. The IIHF. For the Americans, that's the International Ice Hockey Federation, said that Russia will not be allowed to participate in 4 tournaments next year after a review by the organization's council. The IIHF cited ongoing safety, security, and sporting integrity concerns in its announcement. Russia will be barred from the 2027 World Junior Championships, World Championships, and the Under-18 men's and women's tournaments, the IIHF said, adding that a decision on the women's worlds would be made in November. I'll say this, hockey's still my number one sport. We as hockey fans and pundits were worried how this would affect the Russian prospects. They seem to be doing just fine. So hopefully Russia gets back one day. It would make the tournament so a whole hell of a lot better, but we're surviving just fine without them, as are their players. By the way, I'm going to be breaking soon. Corey, have you been talking to the producer group? There we go. We'll be right back with the snowman.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the RP Show, Silver State Sports Game Plus streaming and WQVZ Radio. I will get to the viewer comments in a second. Everybody's punchy. They're in a great mood, but no more so than Snowman in the Morning. Brian Snow checking in from the Indiana State. What's the nickname of that? I've asked you this before. What is it? What's the nickname of that state? The Corn State? No, that's Iowa. What are you guys?
Hoosier State.
The Hoosier State. The Hoosier State. Well, I guess you know what? We should start there right now. I don't see Indiana in the top of the college football rankings, Brian.
You know why?
Search party. Why?
You know why? Because they expect Indiana to fail after a miraculous college football season. This is what I don't like about preseason polls, and this is why I don't do one for Snowman Multimedia and the Snowman Multimedia Sports Network. As you know, you have been a faithful follower, and I appreciate you. I don't do preseason polls because they never, ever put the defending champion at the top of the poll. They did it to Michigan. They did it to Ohio State last year because Texas was number one, and then Ohio State kicked them in the rear end. Now they've done it to Indiana. They expect the champion to fall each and every year, and this has been true for the last 20-plus years. Even if they repeat as champions, they expect them to fall. So they're expecting Indiana, who received TCU quarterback Josh Hoover in the transfer portal, they expect Indiana not to do well at all. Old Snowman says Indiana's going to be in the playoff for the third consecutive season. And do not be surprised if they wind up in Vegas for the championship game.
Hot take from Brian. You come out of the chute just blazing today, man. And I didn't even tell you what we were going to talk about. But no, you're right. The tough thing for the Hoosiers is there's nowhere to go but down. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but there's nowhere to go but down. It's just the way that it is. And actually, since we're sitting here, and as you know, we're on the television in Nevada, I was talking with Murph about this yesterday. Your take on the Raiders. Did they unwittingly set up a quarterback controversy with all the focus? The media focuses on Fernando Mendoza, what he's doing with the second team in camp, and Kirk Cousins is over here going, "Hi, I'm over here. Hello." You know, nobody's paying attention to Kirk. Is there a controversy here?
It's been a controversy since they drafted Fernando Mendoza in April. It's been a controversy. They named Kirk Cousins QB1. I don't know why, but he can't stay healthy. Look at his years with Minnesota and beyond that. His last couple of years with Minnesota, he's dealt with major injuries. Same thing happened in Atlanta. I've had many people ask me after we covered the draft, do you give Fernando Mendoza the keys right now, or do you allow Kirk Cousins to start the season? Rod, you know how I feel. If you get a quarterback the caliber of Fernando Mendoza, give him the keys right now. Give him the keys right now. Do what the Colts did in 1998 when they drafted Peyton Manning. They had good backups, but the Colts said, no, Manning's our guy. Manning's our face. They gave him the keys. And what happened? He got better every single season. Give you another example. 1980. Steve DeBerg was the leading quarterback for the 49ers. They had a kid sitting by named Joe Montana. 1980, they gave him the keys. He engineered one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history from 35-7 down against New Orleans in Week 14, and they won the game in overtime. What did Joe Montana do? 4 Super Bowls, 4 wins, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Fernando needs to get the keys right now.
Snowman spitting history. The viewers are on fire. Jason in Red Deer writes in. He says, the Snowman is on fire. I keep saying Vancouver, Virginia Eric, because there is a Vancouver Eric, but this is Virginia Eric.
Yep.
He says, yes, Snowman, they will definitely be in the playoffs, so they're with you. Well, let's keep going down the Raiders road. Jason says the Raiders named Cousins quarterback 1 heading into camp. That doesn't mean he'll be QB1 in game 1. I think we all see that's where it's going. He'll be starting.
Come on, if you didn't see this coming from 2 miles away, then you weren't looking, period. You weren't looking, because they're going to name, you could have seen this from like 2 miles away. They're going to name Kirk Cousins QB1, but do not be surprised at the last minute they pull a switch and they give Mendoza the keys. If you want to really see what Mendoza can do, you do like what the Colts did in 1998. You do like what the 49ers did in 1980. You do like what your Cowboys did in 1991. when they gave Troy Aikman the keys. Give him the keys right now. He's there. He's the number one pick. Show him off. Put him through the ringer. See how he responds, because that's the role of the quarterback. You have to respond. And forgive me for being a homer. I mentioned Joe Montana. Same thing with Steve Young. When Montana got hurt in the 1990 championship game, the 49ers had no choice but to give the ball to Steve Young because Montana was out for 2 years. What did Steve Young do? He took him to a Super Bowl in 1994 and won the darn thing. You have to trust your quarterback. Go ahead.
I just had a vision. The Raiders announced Mendoza as the starter in Week 1 against Miami, and the reporter's like, "Why did you change your mind, Clint?" Well, I was sitting in my hotel room watching Silver State Sports. The Snowman was on there, and he convinced me that Mendoza should start. I just saw it happen. Oh, my God. John Ohm says, Snowman tip of the day. Open your eyes, fool. Give him the keys. Well, you're not wrong. And the thing was, it didn't ruin Troy Aikman. It didn't. They went 1-15. Oh, my God. Right. It didn't ruin. I'm sure it's ruined a few guys. I'm trying to think who it's ruined. But we all think Mendoza's a kid that can take it. And here we are. We know more than Clint Kubiak, John Spytek, and Tom Brady. We all know that, which we've also established here today. Now, you say that I'm a Cowboys fan, and trust me, I am. I'm not switching from the Cowboys to the Raiders. I'm just adding a team because the black and silver fits well with the motif of what we're doing here right now. But your team, I was telling the viewers earlier, is the 49ers, and Deebo Samuel's coming back. Is it going to make a big difference? And what is your take on the Kyle Shanahan situation, by the way, since that's your team?
They fumbled the Kyle Shanahan situation, period. He admits it's his fault. But I think here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, okay, he admitted it. He admitted that it's his fault. Let's just keep going. Because as soon as he admitted that it was his fault, crickets. You heard nothing. And you won't hear anything either. As far as Deebo Samuel goes, Ricky Pearsall is going to be out for the year with a major injury. This is not there's never been a better time for a reunion with Deebo Samuel than now. So Brock Purdy gets one of his toys back. I have the feeling that since Deebo is back, Brandon Ayuk is going to shut his mouth and report to camp and say, okay, I give up. Y'all win. Let's do this thing.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, okay, well, that's the one thing, if you follow anything about leadership, just the public will respect if you just own up to it. The public will respect. But the longer you kick that can down the road and keep up the act, the worse it'll be. So it's interesting the way that you say that. Utah, Darren writes, and he says Alex Smith was damaged severely in his first 2 years, but survived and had a decent career. That was with the Chiefs, and they were ruby red rotten. Like, I feel like with the Raiders, I don't think this is the wrong move because they got a veteran quarterback there. Everybody's healthy. I don't know if you're following anything out of Raiders camp at all, but they're 100% healthy. You just said the 49ers aren't. They're missing Pearsall for the whole year. Like, this could work. It could work the way that they're doing it, no matter who they put in at QB1. Hey, totally off this. I always say I hate when news and sports intersect. I loathe it, Snowman. But it does happen. Yeah. And Kyle Shanahan is one example of that. The other is Tony Romo. And the poll question here today is, do you think he should lose his job with the DUI arrest at the golf event in your state there in Indiana? And so 70% of the viewers saying no, he should not lose his job. But they're not looking at our poll, I don't think. What are you voting in that?
You know what? If I were the president of CBS Sports and I hear a story like this with one of my top analysts, because remember, he's on the #1 team with Jim Nantz.
Yep.
Jim Nantz is the lead voice. A lot of people are not going to agree with me when I say this, but I would tell Tony Romo, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. I would bring in someone else that will respect the network, that will respect the broadcast, respect the contract. It's not that you can't drink. It's when you get busted doing it. And you, Tony Romo, are one of the faces of CBS Sports and NFL football. You, my friend, have been built up to be the next John Madden, which he ain't. And like you,
No.
I can't stand Tony Romo in the booth because whatever he says in the booth did not match what he did with the Cowboys for 13 years, period. So how the hell did he become the end all be all when he didn't do anything in the NFL? That's why John Madden worked with Pat Summerall and sometimes Vernon Lundquist if Pat Summerall was covering covering the U.S. Open tennis event in New York. Why did John Madden work? 11 years as a Raiders coach. He won a Super Bowl. He coached players. And he brought his coaching knowledge to the booth. Now, Romo is bringing his quarterback knowledge to the booth, whatever's left of it. But he's stepping all over Jim Nantz. That's why for the bulk of almost 31 years, I've been doing play-by-play, especially here in studio while I recover from cancer. I'm a lone act. I'm a solo act. I have people with me during the broadcast, but they know not to step on me if I'm in the middle of a sequence. Tony Romo, and you said this many, many times over, on and off air when we talk. Tony Romo keeps stepping on Jim Nantz when he's not supposed to. You've had partners in the booth that respect you. And I love you. I love your work, and I love you, brother. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry I missed you the other time. My schedule changed. I want to get you back on my show very, very soon. But back to business. Don't step on your partner. Don't step on. That's why very few partners have worked with me.
You saw what I was talking about on that then. You obviously saw what I was talking about when I said I'd throw him out the booth. But what I don't know, what networks want, what viewers want, isn't what I grew up with. So whatever.
Right. Right.
It is what it is. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says to Tony Romo's defense, he did play for the Cowboys, so not winning isn't his fault. No, he's the reason. We sit here, by the way, all the time and talk about when we make picks. We have our pundits on, and they talk about the importance of quarterback play. To me, and I was watching every game, the Cowboys didn't win because of Tony Romo. It's not that Tony Romo didn't win because of the Cowboys. There's a really big difference there, which, by the way, what is your Super Bowl pick, Snowman? You must have one here in week one.
I got a couple. I think my NFC championship is going to be Eagles 49ers at Levi's. I love what the Rams are doing and how they're getting loaded. But if you watched last year, they slipped in Seattle, and it cost them the number 1 seed. I wouldn't be surprised. I have 3 different matchups of the NFC Championship, and all of them involve the 49ers. Either they play the Seahawks. Well, listen, 49ers were 12-5 last year, and they only had half a team. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rams-Seahawks in Los Angeles. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rams-49ers for the second time in 5 years. And like I said, my original pick is Eagles-49ers. My AFC Championship game goes Chiefs-Broncos. It's just going to
depend
on where it would be. That would be a fifth. Both of those championship games, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Kansas City and Denver, they would both be 50-point games with about 1,000 yards of offense. I say we get a rematch of Chiefs and 49ers in Los Angeles second week of February for the Super Bowl.
You guys are such a bunch of Rudy poos. My guys, I'll picking their team. All my pundits cheer for their own guys. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, are the Cowboys winning now? No, that's the point.
Nope.
They're not winning now. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I don't even have them in the Super Bowl, and that's because of Dak Prescott. Don't get me going. Ken in Mississauga writes in, he says, this is a very convincing argument. I know Ken's referring to why you think Tony Romo should lose his job. And listen, we're just sitting here spitballing. You're not advocating for Tony Romo to lose his job. I mean, we don't.
Not at all.
No. Vancouver Eric. Why do I keep saying? And where is Vancouver Eric? Virginia Eric says anybody can slip. My Carolina Panthers beat the Rams in the regular season and gave them a run in the playoffs last year. To be honest with you,
they did.
If you're reading, and I'm sure you're reading a lot of the same coverage I am, when they talk about teams that are going to take that jump this year, I think Carolina will be one of those, especially with the dissension in Tampa Bay with Baker now and the Buccaneers. Carolina, they almost won the division last year, right? It went down to the last couple of weeks. I'm actually kind of pulling for the Panthers to do that, although I hear their owner is a real knob, and I don't like to see bad owners win. But, yeah, who are the teams that you think will be the surprise teams? Take that jump this year.
To make that jump, one team in the NFC that I really believe will make that jump is indeed Carolina.
Yeah.
Because they had no business winning the South last year. They had no business beating Tampa Bay, which won them that division, and they kept up with the Rams in their wild card game. So I definitely see Carolina making that jump in the NFC. In the AFC, last year I picked Denver to make that jump. This year, and I hope to God they prove me right, this year I'm pulling for the Chargers. Matter of fact, I got two teams. Chargers being one, and of course, my honey's team, the Indianapolis Colts. Problem with the Colts? Because she's a third-generation Colts fan. But with the Colts, stay healthy, please.
Right.
Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor 25 times a game, and you won't have any. At least, I'll put the words in front of it, at least 25 times a game. Because if you saw last year, every time they won, except for one time, Jonathan Taylor had 100 yards. So they can put up 400 yards of offense in the blink of an eye. Long as Danny Dimes stays healthy, and as long as the Colts offensive line stays healthy. Because by the time we went to Pittsburgh to play them, 2/5 of the line was gone, replaced by rookies. And Pittsburgh beat us up.
We got to get you back here. Yeah, we got about 90 seconds left. We got to get you back. We got to get you back lots throughout the summertime here. I'm actually really happy that training camps have opened. Not as happy as Roger Goodell, because there'll be less guys getting in trouble here right now. But I'm hearing not as much about Aaron Rodgers. I'm hearing not as much about the Rossini Vrabel story. Like, I'm hearing none of that, thank God. You know what I mean? We're actually talking football finally.
Yes.
You know, I wish that was the case for 12 months, but that isn't necessarily the case. There's only games for 6 months. But, yeah, the reason I say I got to get you back on, we're sitting there talking about the announcers, and I got to get your take on all the layoffs at ESPN. I mean, NFL Network, all they're doing is showing replay games. I'm like, for the love of God.
Yep.
I don't want to watch an old game. Can you do camp coverage for – oh, my God, it's terrible. But anyway, so, man, where can people follow you? We're going to be breaking here right away. They're probably unannounced, but where can they follow you?
YouTube.com/@Snowman Multimedia. That's my main channel. I got another one coming that will feature all of my play-by-play. That's at Watch SMSN, but that's where you can follow me the most.
Snowman in the morning. Appreciate you, man. Let's do it again, like sooner than later.
Absolutely. I love you, Rod. Thanks for having me, and I'd love to have you back on my show as well.
Of course. Wow, it's getting busy, man. You know that. Just send me a note.
know. Yeah.
And we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Just hang on as I read some comments from the viewers here. Utah Darren says, so all NFL football is in the West this year? Love it. Yeah, everybody's picking a Super Bowl matchup of West. I don't hear any of this Patriot stuff. Nobody says Bills. Yeah, go watch. Then it'll happen. Giants, Bills, Super Bowl. Can you imagine? We'll be right back on Silver State Sports.
For a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Sask Tigs.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You guys, you're making me blush. Jason in Red Deer writes that he says, man, what a show. I keep saying, Rod, you got to make this thing 3 hours. Nope. Less is more. Jerry Seinfeld said it. Leave him wanting more. Jeff the Stamps fan says, are we having a show Monday? Producer Corey says, yes, we are. Jeff says, really? It's a holiday. We're aware. Yep. There will be 2 days coming up that we will not have shows pre-scheduled because of programming commitments. Producer Corey, would I be accurate when I said that? There will be 2 days coming up in the first couple weeks of August that we will not have shows, so we're doing a show on the holiday Monday. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. What we say, Utah Darren, live in the now. Yeah. No 3-hour show. Stop it. Virginia Eric says, yes, I agree. Great show. That's because we involve you. You know, a lot of guys don't have the sack to sit here and field live comments. Trust me, they don't. I don't care. For the new viewers, I'll say it again. I'm a certified, licensed mental health and addiction recovery coach. I go into rooms with meth addicts and crackheads and do interventions. I can handle Jeff the Stamps fan just fine. Or Vancouver Eric, or Virginia Eric, or you, whoever. Sports update on this Friday. The Atlanta Falcons were so short of arms on Thursday that President of Football, Matt Ryan, stepped up to deliver some passes. No, Ryan isn't a quarterback option this season, head coach Kevin Stefanski joked, and it remains to be seen who will be. But for now, this relatively unknown quarterback is getting his chance to shine. Strand is his name. That's what's going on in Atlanta. Cody Clemens achieved every kid's dream Thursday when he hit the most ultimate of ultimate grand slams to lift the Minnesota Twins to victory in front of their home fans. Down 3-0 in the ninth and facing an 0-2 count with 2 outs, Clemens blasted a grand slam into the seats in right center field. This was the 34th ultimate grand slam in MLB history, which is a walk-off grand slam to erase a 3-run deficit. And it just got me tingles thinking about that, because I will tell you something. We had a very exciting one here last night. I didn't watch the CFL game because I was broadcasting baseball, and we were down 7-4 going to the bottom of the ninth. My Moose Jaw Millers against the Mavericks. We came back and won on a walk-off by Garen Plummer from Wichita, Kansas, and the place went crazy. Just to follow that, go to my personal Instagram at Rod Pedersen Official, because that's all about like my life and the things I'm doing there. The Instagram of the Rod Pedersen Show is all show-related, clips from the show, polls, you name it, upcoming guests, all that. But the Rod Pedersen Official is everything not show-related, and that includes the excitement of last night. The guy's mobbing Garen Plummer. It's the second walk-off for him this year, because I remember the first time we were standing at the urinal next to each other the next day, and I said, Garen, where were you running after you hit it? Because he took off out into the outfield. He's darting left, then he darted right, then he darted left, and his teammates all mobbed him. And he goes, I wasn't running anywhere. I was trying not to be caught, because I knew when they jumped on me, I would die. I would be suffocated. So I will just say, you guys, it took 3 years, and I totally get it, and people are understanding this is NCAA baseball. Carter Beck from our league was just drafted in the first round by the Atlanta Braves. It's big-time baseball. But it's college, so it's fun for everybody. Because I will say this, it's not that I won't go big leagues again, but for now, I really, really love it. I'm really, really enjoying it. And you're now seeing why. I just want to have fun. And just a lot of those guys and the big jobs and gals just aren't having fun. The ranks of U.S. women's sports leagues will grow this weekend with the launch of the Women's Pro Baseball League. Unlike 70 years ago when women's baseball last played professionally, the WPBL enters a thriving landscape for pro women's sports. The WNBA's success is evident in its viewership, attendance, and groundbreaking CBA. The PWHL Women's Hockey League averaged 9,304 fans per game in its third regular season, up 28% over the prior year and 71% over year one. Something going on with women's sports. We'll be breaking shortly and coming back for overtime. So if I get cut off, I apologize early. The 2026 Indoor Football League playoffs kick off in earnest this weekend with 4 games airing on Yahoo Sports Network. That's why Vegas Nighthawks head coach and GM Mike Davis isn't available this week here on Silver State Sports and the RP Show, because his Nighthawks are hosting the Arizona Rattlers Sunday at Dollar Loan Center. We'll be right back with overtime.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs guy through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. This has been weird. Way too much flow for this show today. Everything's just working into each other. No, it's not a coincidence. It's just the way that we are and our viewers. It's the greatest show on your telly, your screen, your radio. Thanks for making us part of it. And what I say by that is Vancouver Eric has popped his head out and says, when's the Calgary-Vancouver road trip, Mr. Live in the Now? Well, we'll be at Overtime Hockey Lanes Wednesday, August the 19th. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I was waiting for God to sort it out. I was starting to get a little bit of anxiety because things were jumbled up here. If my baseball team goes all the way, as the latest possible date that we could play is August 17th. I got to host Theron Fleury's golf tournament August 20th in Calgary. Trying to find out around that time where we would do the live show at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, because Randy at Overtime Hockey Lanes says, let me know because I want to advertise it, get a live audience down there, which we did last year. And Jeff, the Stamps fan, you never came. But it's just funny because at that time I had a purple kazoo, which became FUBARD. But I had this bell and the kazoo sitting on the table. We're ready for the live show. Theo's there signing autographs, taking photos. And the people, the viewers came up and they were like, taking pictures with it. I'm like, it's a kazoo. I bought it for $250 at John's Music in Moose Jaw. So anyways, God sorted it all out. August 17th is the last day that we'll play. I'm going out to stay with friends August 18th, doing the show August 19th. Theo's tournament August 20th. Coming back Friday the 21st. No, the 20th after the golf tournament. And I'm actually flying to Vancouver for the Riders and the Lions, Vancouver, Eric. But I don't think we're going to be doing a live show there unless Amar Dolman has other plans. I don't know. I'm kind of leaving it up to the Lions. Let's hold them to it, okay? I'm putting it out there right now. Because the Lions people, they're like, when you come out here, you're going to get the full red carpet treatment. I don't even know what that is. Janice is coming to the game. That's exciting. We're going to be in the owner's suite with her company. Wilson 4Q. I said, when are you coming on again? She's like, well, we don't have anything to announce just yet. Just wait. But she'll be coming on. Janice Taylor, go look it up. It's going to be a fun weekend out there in Vancouver. As yet, I just don't have a private or a public or whatever you want to call it show plan. I was just going to do it from my hotel room in Vancouver. So, yeah, we're coming there, but for sure the live show is in Calgary on August the 19th. That's my long answer to your short question. Utah Darren says, as I tell the story of Garen Plummer, like I'll tell you, the prairie folk, the country folk, you'll get this. You know, you're driving down the highway, you're driving down the road, and you see a deer in the field, and the deer's just going all these different directions, exactly what Garen Plummer looked like. And the kids mobbed him. And just to finish up on that thought, it's just pure sport. And that's what I love. And the emotion of it. There's no big money involved here. It was just the drama in the stadium was unreal last night. B. Where were we? I apologize. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, maybe I was lurking in the back. I don't think you were. That's the thing. I don't think you were. You think I think anything escapes me? Arlen says, oh, you're buddies with Baker? Well, that changes everything. Bakes takes. If you're buddies with Baker, he can corroborate this. This is the PR guy for the Lions. I'm like, hey, can you shoot me the digits for Travis Lulay? Here you go. Boom. All of a sudden, me and Lulay are texting back and forth. He's sending me photos from his family vacation. That's the one thing that I'm very, very proud of, that I was the radio guy for a rival team, really not that important, and ended up having this great relationship with teams, with players and coaches from the rival teams who, quite frankly, I thought hated me and largely should have. Ken and Mississauga, we've been talking about, where were you in hour one? We've been talking. Did you hear the Beatles broke up? He's saying Caden Salter rushed for 160 yards last night. They're opening up the upper deck at Comet. We talked about that all off the top of the show, bro. You got to hit rewind. Arlen Bruce writes in. He says, hey, great show, RP. Thanks for mentioning the IFL. My son, Arlen Bruce IV, is second in yards, touchdowns, and receptions. It should be a great game. Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Have a great weekend at the Dollar Loan Center. My guy, Mike Davis, is always on Fridays, but he's like, can't got practice. They got their big playoff game on Sunday, round 1. So, again, I'm on top of everything. We just can't spend a lot of time on everything. That's why I rely on you people. 902-518-3033. So, again, Tad Cornegay, the Grey Cup kid, will be on Monday's holiday show. We're doing it because on August 7th and 10th, there won't be shows because of programming conflicts. Let's just say that. I don't really know what it is. They said, Rod, you're off September 7th and 10th. I'm like, I'll take it. Wayne in BC writes, he says, yes, Rod, you need to get Snowman back more often during the NFL season. Snowman in the morning. The guy is an elite broadcaster. He's got the hot takes, and sometimes they just miss. But so do mine. Who cares? Nobody remembers the next day. How we doing on time, producer Corey? Because I could sit here and read these comments till next week. Yeah, I got you. I got everything except how many seconds, but that's okay. Kirk says, hey, Rod, I'm on my way up to Madawaska Valley. Unfortunately, Alec Manoah is washed up. I got a story about Alec Manoah. That's why I wondered how much time we had. The washed up, 15 seconds. I saw him at a Panthers game. I'm like, that guy looks like Alec Manoah. It's on the concourse. I looked at, he's from Homestead, Florida. That was Alec Manoah. He's the size of a fridge. Have a good weekend.
That.